Hi viewers, welcome back to MasterJSkills. In today's video, we will see what are the Spring Boot actuators. So, what are the benefits of Spring Boot actuators and how we can enable the Spring Boot actuators features in our application. We will see in deep about the actuators in this video. So, to have a clear understanding of a complete concept, please watch the video without skipping. And please subscribe to MasterJSkills for more such great tutorials. So without making any delay, let's get started on Spring Boot actuators. So let's take a case where without using actuators, we used to develop a particular REST API to check the health condition of our application. So let's see an example. So here I am just running this application where actuator I have disabled. I have disabled actuators. I'll just run this application. So I'm just running this application. Application is up and running on 8083. So I'll just go to browser and I'll just hit this application in browser, but I don't know what exactly is happening in the server, whether it is up or down. I'm not sure because it is just saying 404. So to check whether the application and up or not, so for this we used to write a health API just to what it will send is just it will send an text message as application is up and running. So if I click on this as well, it is saying 404 only till the context as well, it is saying 404. I'll just remove this context path as well, and if I press also, it is 404 even though our application is up and running. So let's understand what are the actuators and enable and check how what are the features when we include this actuator. So if you want to get a production ready application, we should use the Spring Boot actuator. So production ready, why it is specifically production ready? See, when the application is live, if something goes, we should go to the server and track every information. We should check the health of application. We should check the configuration. If something is gone bad or something gone wrong, we have to check the logs and we have to take a log dump and we have to search what exactly where exactly it's failing, and on particular what configuration as well we have to go and check all the configurations manually backend. So instead of that, production ready features, in the sense we can track all the information with the help of these actuators without going backend. So how that we will see with an IDE itself. So if you want to get a production ready features in an application, we should use a Spring Boot actuator. So these features are like what is a health of what I have already mentioned, health check of application, matrix of application, what are the configuration of application, what are the beans used in the application, complete information about the application will be provided by the Spring Boot actuator. So these are the features called a production ready features. So Spring Boot actuator is a sub project of Spring Boot framework itself. It's a small project in the Spring Boot framework itself. So it includes a number of additional features that help us to monitor and manage the Spring Boot application. It contains actuator endpoints, the place where resources live. So it gives all the features to manage and monitor our application. So this is the main feature or advantage of using actuators, is it gives us some features where we can monitor and manage our application. So what are the three main features of a Spring Boot actuators are endpoint, metrics and audit. So these are the main features of actuators. So what are endpoint? Where the actuator endpoints allows us to monitor and interact interact with the application. So it gives some of the endpoints. With that endpoints we can interact with our application. So Spring Boot provides a number of built-in endpoints. We can also create our own endpoint as well. We can enable and disable each endpoints individually as well as all of them. Most of the application uses a HTTP where the ID of the endpoint along with the prefix of a actuator is a map to the URL. For example, health of a health endpoint provides the basic health information of an application. The actuator by default mapped into the actuator health. So this is how it will be mapped. So endpoints, it gives a predefined REST endpoints, which will with the help of these endpoints we can manage and monitor our application. We will see most of the endpoints of actuator. So it gives a metrics. Spring Boot Actuator provides a dimensional matrices by interacting with the micrometer. So it interacts with the micrometer to give our application dimensional matrices. So micrometer is integrated into the Spring Boot. So it is already integrated into the Spring Boot. It is the instrumentation library powering the delivery of application metrics from Spring. It completely gives us a timer, counter, distribution summaries, and these all it will provide in the dimension with the dimension of a data model. So it completely gives a metrics of the application. So the next feature is audit. So Spring Boot provides a flexible audit framework that pushes the events to an audit event repository. It automatically publishes the authentication events if a Spring security is executed. So audit is used when our application is supporting a Spring security. So in that case it gives a complete audit information. So authentication events, everything it will give us. So these three are the main features of Spring Boot Actuator. So Spring Boot Actuator endpoint, so it has some endpoints called actuator. It provides a hypermedia based discovery page for the other endpoints. It's a discovery page, so it will list all the endpoints. If we hit this particular endpoint, then it will give all the endpoint which are enabled in our application, that it will give. So audit event, again it is gives the event information of the current application. Auto configuration, it gives what are the auto configuration, and bean, it gives all the beans, configuration properties, dump, so everything it will give. So these are the possible endpoints you can see. These all we will see with an application. So I don't want to read it again, too much of theory here. So let's see practically. So here I am not included this actuator. So without actuator, our application, even though our application is up and running, we are not able to get what is happening in our application. So we cannot monitor our application. So let's enable our actuators. I just enabled, I'm saving, and let's run this application. So our application is up and running on 8083. Now let's see. Now let's hit same. So now let's hit same server with an actuator. Link. So if we click on this, you can see our server is up and running, and it has all these possible endpoints enabled. So I didn't include anything other than this dependency. So by default it gives actuator. So you can see the same I have it. If I again click, it will be in the same. So this one, this is a actuator which will list all the possible endpoints in the application. So again, it is giving health with a particular path, health of particular API also we can give, and I'm just clicking on this. So if you see, health of our application is up. It is up and running. Okay. So just come back and just let's see the actuator info. So it doesn't contain any information because it's completely an basic endpoints which are enabled with the help of just adding this dependency. So how we can enable, as in the discussion we have saw, it gives complete information about a configuration, beans, these all we have to enable with the external configuration, like whether we want, either we may want to have all the endpoints, or we want to include completely configuration or not. It all depends on us. So we have to configure that in the application.properties. So these are the properties I have enabled. I have to make it enabled. So let me uncomment. So I am using, so you can see endpoint which all I want to expose. So I have given star. Star means all the possible endpoints. I want all. So if you want particularly include particular endpoint, that also you can specify over here. And these are, you can leave it as of now. And so let's enable, let's save this. So again it has deployed into so you can see I just enabled those, exposed all, include all the endpoints. So it has listed all possible endpoints. So you can see, as we have saw beans. These are the beans it has used. It is not only includes the beans you have configured or a custom beans, it also includes dependent also. So these are the beans only. So JPA beans which is included inside. So these all the possible beans which are included in our application. So it will list out all the beans. Okay. Let's see what are the environment it is using. You can see these are the environment property sources, that is server port 8080, as it will always show the first one which is running. Active profiles is test. So currently I am using test profile. So so it will show all the configuration and path. So complete information about this environment it will show, which version it is using. So it will show the default property as well. In that I have enabled test. So dev tools, everything it will list out complete environment detail. The current active environment details it will show over here. So just if you want, if without actuator, if you want to see what particular port, on what particular port it is running, on which environment, which is active profile, everything we have to go and check backend. But with the help of actuators we can just analyze this complete endpoint. Okay, so this is about the endpoint. And I'm just showing you, I think logger is yeah. So enabled logger, you can see everything, the logger, complete logger information it will be. As of now I didn't included any loggers. So because why it is showing is because of a dependent dependencies which is included in one of the dependency which I have included in the EMS application. So heap dump, if I click on this, the dump itself will show here. So if you click on this, it will download complete heap dump. So this is a heap dump, thread dump. Again it will if you click on this, it will download, and these are the metrics. So you can see the state of a complete metrics it will be shown. So this is about the metrics. It will give and schedule task. As of now I don't have any threads enabled in my application. So apart from these there are many things which we can even include here. So raw means it will show like this, and we can include Prometheus. There are lots of things with an actuator. These are the basic things how we can enable actuators to manage and monitor our application. So these are I have included, and these are the properties. This is quite simple, and it's completely about the basic. So what are the features of actuators we have saw, and to analyze complete all the URLs, so we have to have another session or another tutorial for this particularly. If you want to know completely deep analysis of this particular URLs on particular each one of these URLs or endpoints, then comment in the comment box, then only I'll come up with an video. So this is all about the actuators. So if you still have any doubts regarding this particular video, then comment in the comment. Will make sure to answer or clear all your doubts. So that's all for today. If you really like this video, please like this video, and I'll catch up you guys in the next video. Thanks again for watching.